Fake masters exist for one reason: to fake it. Beyond the act, they bring nothing real to the table. Put them in front of someone who actually knows how to fight, and they're exposed fast. All they can do is pretend, stall, maybe wave their hands around. But once the punches start landing, the truth shows up. And usually, it shows up as a brutal knockdown. These are the times when fake masters get destroyed by real fighters. This fake martial arts master raised his hands slowly, like he was pulling something out of the air. Maybe he thought that alone would stop what was coming. Across from him, the real fighter had seen enough. And yes, one quick strike was enough to jar this master back to reality. The fake master barely got his hands up. Whatever technique he thought he had vanished the second he got hit in the face. But here's where it gets sad. The fake master wanted a second round.
Все, нормально, не надо.
So they went again. Same result. Only this time, the real fighter hit harder, like he was trying to knock the delusion out of him. Turns out, he wasn't a master of anything. Not of combat, not of discipline, maybe just a master of pretending. And even that fell apart when it mattered. He actually believed he still had something to prove. Xu Xiaodong had enough of fake martial arts. So when Tai Chi Master Weilei claimed he had mystical powers, Xu called him out. The challenge was simple: prove it in a real fight. Weilei accepted. Cameras were rolling, fans were watching. Some thought maybe the Tai Chi guy had something up his sleeve. Maybe there was some trick no one saw coming. At first, Wei did move around, slid out of the way once or twice. But that didn't last long. Xu stepped in with a quick jab, then followed with a barrage. Real punches. No slow-motion hand-waving. Wei couldn't handle it. In less than 20 seconds, he was on the floor. And he stayed there. Of course, the crowd was shocked. People had grown up thinking those old kung fu moves worked. But this wasn't a movie. It was a beating. This fight didn't just expose one fake master. It shook a whole system. That idea that tradition alone was enough, that some old form could stand up to modern training, got shattered in under half a minute. Xu Xiaodong wasn't done. After dismantling the Tai Chi mystic, he turned his attention to another so-called master, Ding Hao, the face of Wing Chun. This one got more attention. Ding Hao had a crowd. He had followers. People thought maybe, just maybe, this wouldn't be a repeat of the last humiliation. It was. Just with a few extra seconds. To be fair, Ding Hao did land a few shots. Some quick strikes in the opening moments. He moved his arms fast, the kind of movements that look good on camera. And then, he decided he was done watching. Xu threw him like he was nothing. With a few minutes remaining, Xu gave this fake master a hard right. Ryukin Yanagi built a name off air punches and people falling over like bowling pins. No contact, no effort, just supposed energy. You've probably seen the clips. It's ridiculous. But people believed it. Some still do. He had disciples too. Grown men acting like they'd been electrocuted by an invisible blast. And you have to wonder, were they paid off, brainwashed, both? Either way, they helped him keep the act alive. But that act had a deadline. And the expiration date showed up wearing MMA gloves. Tsuyoshi Iwakura. This wasn't one of those play fight situations where everyone agrees to the illusion. Iwakura was there to fight. For real. And that's where everything crumbled. And if that's not enough, then here's the rest. The biggest mistake Yanagi made? Thinking the fantasy would hold up under real pressure. It didn't. It never does. You can fake fights all you want, until someone makes you prove it. DKU convinced himself that his skills were enough. He wasn't just confident, he was certain. Claimed he could beat Manny Pacquiao, the same guy who made a career out of dismantling world champions. DK said he'd prove that Korean martial arts could outdo boxing. He believed it, or pretended to. He trained, posted clips,
피하는 것처럼 피하는 치는 것처럼 잡아줬다가 튕겨줘. 팍! 아니라 오완.
but talk is cheap. And Pacquiao isn't a theory, he's a storm. From the opening bell, it was clear this wasn't going to end well for DK. He moved awkwardly, like he was still trying to figure out what kind of fight he was in.
Regardless of the size advantage from DK.
Manny attacks the body of DKU.
DK tried to respond, but there was nothing behind it. As if he didn't expect Pacquiao to actually hit back. But he did. Over and over.
In boxing technique and having to stick to that is exhausting.
And being in shape, they're two totally different things.
Yes.
Manny and
By the middle rounds, DK was slowing down. That's what happens when reality shows up and your ego can't help you.
now he's back to DK again. A couple of lefts. Diving DK.
Oh my God!
DKU.
You can call yourself the greatest all you want, but if you step in with someone like Manny and think it's just going to be a sparring match, you're not ready. DK learned that the hard way. The so-called Kung Fu master showed up in a plain t-shirt. Just the smug look of someone who thought he had the whole thing figured out. Across from him, Morrison Butler didn't say much. He already knew how this would end. The fight started and the Kung Fu guy stepped forward like he had something to prove. Maybe he thought a few hand gestures and slow-motion strikes would work. But Butler wasn't interested in any of that. He waited for a second, then went straight to work.
And go. Go.
You could see it on his face. He didn't expect it to hurt like that. But Butler wasn't done. With each second, the gap between pretend and real got wider, and Butler just kept exposing it. Of course, here's the finishing blow that exposed this scammer.
That's it. Good work, Butler. Good work. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Good work. Where you at?
Maybe now he understands you can't fake toughness. Not in that ring. Not against someone like Morrison Butler. For all it's worth, he should have worn armor. So, which beating did you enjoy the most? Comment your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.